Good evening, Bruin fans, and welcome to a special Something Bruin here in Season 5 of Sports Talk with Rags. Today, here we are honored here to have the current principal of Western Branch High School, John Close, with us today. John, how you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on.
Sure, no problem. Appreciate your time. And like I said, with doing the podcast there in 2021 and being a Western Branch alum, having Mr. Brander come on, having Mr. Hicks come on, appreciate you here, your first year, of being principal here at Western Branch.
Yeah, it's an honor. You can't see right here. I'm gonna slide my camera over just a little bit.
Yeah, all right.
On both sides of me here, I have a jersey with the number 5.
Hey.
And that's because I'm the 5th principal here at Western Branch, and Art Brandriff, John Sykes, Thomas Whitley, Quentin Hicks, and myself, and I'm honored just to be in that company of people. So all great leaders in their own right.
Yeah, and so what? Let's see. When you were growing up, what led you to get into education?
Yeah, so I was a graduate of Oscar Smith High School, class of '95, and I had this wonderful student activities coordinator who was also my psychology teacher, sociology and psychology. Her name was Nancy Sayer. Okay. And she's passed away now, but she was a dear friend of mine for many years. But she had this way of empowering students to really see what education could become, to live out their values. And she did that for many years as the SCA coordinator at Oscar Smith High School. So she was a big inspiration for me. When I was in high school, I was a SCA president. I had the opportunity to just to be in leadership. And so when I went to college, I really knew I wanted to work with teenagers in some capacity. Even though I was only a teenager myself, I just knew that I didn't know that I really wanted to teach at the time, but I knew I wanted to be be working with teenagers somehow. And I like the idea of being able to inspire, being involved in this critical time in teenagers' lives. And so Nancy Sayer was an inspiration for me. Other teachers like Ernie Rogers, who's well known here, and
right. Mutual friend between the two of us.
Yeah, so Ernie and I go way back, and Ernie has been a big inspiration for me as well. And so people like that, teachers like that, who they cared that there was a sense of community, not just in what happened in the classroom, but what we did as a collective community. And that's a big part of who I am, how I choose to lead. Our theme for this year is that we're going to do everything with excellence. Every day, we're going to do our best to be excellent. And I believe that's a reflection of the community in which we live. And so we want to be the highlight of Western Branch High School. And so I strive for that every day.
So then after college, things worked out to get a job here with Chesapeake Public Schools?
Yeah, so I graduated from Bluefield College, little old Bluefield College, about an hour past Virginia Tech, right on the edge of West Virginia and Virginia. Yeah. And played college tennis for them, so I'm proud of that.
All right,
not great now, and not fast at all. I'll probably pull a hamstring if I tried to play tennis now, but had a great experience in college, but came back here, wanted to be not necessarily be at home, but I wanted to be near the water, near the ocean. And so got hired in Chesapeake, started teaching middle school, 7th grade English at Great Ridge Middle School. So I taught there for about 6 years. Actually left for a couple of years and taught overseas. I was teaching English as a second language
Okay.
training middle school English teachers
Right.
in China. So they were Chinese English teachers in China. So anyway,
Okay.
great experience. Really grew me as a person, doing some mission work. But came back because I had met a lady here in the States, and we
Right.
were not going to make it if we stayed apart. So my wife and I said we need to settle into what we're going to do as a relationship, and I said I'm coming home. So I came home, got married, and then I started teaching again in Chesapeake Public Schools. And when Grassfield opened in 2008, I went over there
Okay.
to teach high school English for 6 years.
And then from there, just in 14 or 15, opportunity opened the way to go into administration.
Yeah, so in 2013, the summer of 2013, um, I was at graduation as a teacher at Grassfield. My wife went into labor, and I started a week later at Western Branch High School as an assistant principal.
Okay.
And so I was here as an assistant principal for 9 years under Dr. Whitley. So the same time he came in as principal,
Okay.
I stayed with him. And then his last year, or Mr. Hicks's first year, was my last year here.
Okay. All right. And then
Wonderful experience working for Dr. Whitley and being really learned. I'll tell you, when I interviewed with him, I can remember being in the car. And I said, Lord, I don't know anything about Western Branch. He was a new principal here, so I had to drive out to Lakeland because that's where he was working.
right.
And I said, Lord, I don't know anything about Western Branch. Can you send me to Oscar Smith or, Grassfield? And he said, so, and I got the call that Dr. Whitley wanted me as part of his team. And it's been wonderful. I've really learned a lot about the Western Branch community, the history of the community, and have really appreciated being involved with so many families over the last decade, really. So.
Yeah, yes. And then also with, having the opportunity of being principal at Jolliffe Middle that feeds into Western Branch High School.
Yeah, so I left for a year right after COVID, and I went back to Grassfield as their assistant principal for instruction for 1 year. And the next year, I got the call that they were looking for a principal at Jolliffe. I'd always wanted to be a principal. I like the idea of being a school leader, steering the direction of the organization. When I got hired, one of the first calls I got was from Art Brandriff, and he said, your most important job is the people you hire to work in the building. And so as a principal, that's the most important job is to put the right people in place to do the best job that they can do. So I always wanted to be a principal, got the opportunity at Jolliffe to come back into the Western Ranch community on the other side.
Right.
As a lot of people like to think of Jolliffe, it's like way over there, but it's really not way over there.
Right.
And so Jolliffe is a wonderful, wonderful little school. I could have stayed there forever, but my calling really, I think, is to work with high school students and to help them get to graduation, help them with the career path decisions. I thrived as a high school teacher. I was a senior class sponsor.
Okay.
So I've known that this is where I wanted to be, was at the high school level. And it just feels like home being back at Western Branch.
Right.
So.
Well, hey, I know that with helping out with Western Branch football, Coach Wright there with baseball and a little bit of basketball there when you were AP. That's where I first met you, and I know that with coming over and being principal, I know that having Coach Cook on with weekly something Bruin, he said that he was looking for a football jersey here to hang up in your office.
He finally got me one.
Yeah.
And I don't know if there's a famous number 5, but I'm making it famous as best I
Yeah,
can.
that's
No.
hey, yes, and that's the thing, with my brother, sister, and I, when we were at Western Branch. I mean, Mr. Brander, being there, such a long time, setting the standard, and that's interesting. That he still cares about the community here with you making a reference of him calling you when you got your first principal's job.
Yeah, I mean that was truly an honor to hear from him, and I had some interactions when I was assistant principal with him, and Miss Ann Klein would come back every once in a while and just show her face and tell us how much she loved us and loved Western Branch. But I think he speaks about the tradition of excellence here at Western Branch. I mean, all principals have lived up to that, but really Art, Mr. Brandon, he really established that tradition of being a school that's going to excel in all areas. We're not perfect. We're not going to win every championship, but we're going to be a better version of ourselves tomorrow than we were today. And I think that goes all the way back to those early years, the staff he hired in those early years to lay the foundation for such a great community. It also, the fact that we're really a tight knit community because we have two feeder middle schools. All of our elementary schools are right here. We have, so it, a lot of people are invested in how well the Western Branch schools do outside of the school community. And so, we want to serve the community well. And so coaches like Coach Wright, Coach Cook, over the years, they've established that, hey, our teams, our athletics, our drama department, they're going to represent the best of Western Branch. And so I want to support them in all the ways that I can. We got a big playoff football game this Friday night. I'm excited about going up to LC Bird to play them. And hopefully we get a win because I want to play Smith again. If we can change the results, So
well, and that's the other thing. I mean, I know with being a Bruin alum and helping out and running into people that either went to school with me, went to school with my brother, went to school with my sister, or they just stay in the community. They work at one of the feeder schools, if not the high school. But, here in your case, you grew up in Chesapeake, came back, worked Chesapeake Public Schools, and then here with being a AP and then a principal at Jolliffe, and then, coming back here to lead Western Branch High School. Nice to have you here with the Western Branch community here since about the fall of 2013-14 school year.
Yeah, well, I've invested a lot of my life in Chesapeake and in Chesapeake Public Schools, and I'm honored to have done that. When I was a high school senior, Dr. Bateman, he was our superintendent at the time. He asked me to represent the students of Chesapeake and to explain what we would like as a student leader in our school board and what our school should look like. Schools as a whole should look like. And so from those early days of leadership, I've taken a deep investment in what Chesapeake Public Schools has to offer our community. And so it's important to me that we do our very best in Western Branch to serve the families of Western Branch Borough. And we don't always get it right. I tell parents at my open house, I said, I'm going to make mistakes and I'm sorry, let's work through them together. But come to me if you're having difficulty, let's discuss that. But my heart is always to be a servant leader. That's the style of leadership. You can ask my staff. It's not really about John Close. It's never been about John Close. It's about my staff. It's about them, the students in this building, and doing our best to serve each and every one of them, no matter what they're going through, no matter what their background is, who they are. We want to help them reach their greatest potential, and go big places and represent us well in this life. So.
Yes, and also with my sister and I being part of Bruin Choir and Varsity Singers, and seeing what Mrs. Duncan has been doing, and with her being a Western Branch alum and coming back, but then don't know the band and the orchestra directors, but I know that there's tradition there with excellence there with band and orchestra. So made reference here to athletics and drama, but I know that also the music department there at Western Branch has been very successful.
Well, and just a long line of excellence, tradition of excellence in the fine arts and really our performing arts, fine arts, all of that. Those areas have just been for decades, have been at the top in all categories. And if you haven't met our band director, you should. Ms. Zimmerman, she is doing a fantastic job. We've kind of rebuilt the band. I know back in the glory days, it gotten pretty big. But when I arrived here in 2013, I think there were probably about 30 band members, and it's back up near 100. And she thinks we're going to be over 100 for next year. And Miss Duncan you can't say enough about the choral department
right
here. And they get showcased in so many different ways, and she finds opportunities to highlight their talents. I mean, it's phenomenal. And Bradley Blair, who is also an alumnus of Western Branch High, he is our orchestra director, and he does a fantastic job. He had some big shoes to fill. The Glasgow name is well known in Western Branch, and Bradley came in and he has done a fantastic job. He's of course a student of Mr. Glasgow, so he had a hard job ahead of him, but he has done an excellent job. He's so multi-talented in so many different ways, but the kids are responded to him and kind of rebuild also of that orchestra program. But it's really about finding opportunities for students to highlight those talents. We have students who are involved in governor's school that we don't talk about them enough, and they do a lot of amazing things outside of the community, and we should highlight them, and we're going to find ways to highlight them in the future. We've got a forensics team that is consistently winning competitions or getting individual awards. We've got students who are whose artwork is on display at City Hall, who are winning competitions throughout the district and even at the state level. So it's really about helping students find their passions, helping them to tap into that, and helping them to grow in those areas where they're passionate about. So that they can explore, hey, is this something I want to do with the rest of my life? Is this something I want to teach? Is it something I want to be great at, and use wherever that the life leads me to use it? And so that's a big part of high school, and we want to help do that in every way we can, whether that's academics or in all these other areas.
Yeah. So with school activities and athletics, I mean, is it pretty much, whether there's something at Western Branch or whether an athletic team is on the road, just somebody in administration to be there here to support the team or support the school activity?
Yeah, we try to have an administrator for supervision, but also to support at each game. So I'm a field hockey dad.
Right.
I have a high school senior in IB over at Oscar Smith, and so she plays field hockey and tennis.
Yeah.
And so I have some split loyalties this year. I also have a 7th grade daughter. She's at Indian River Middle, excuse me.
Okay.
And but they're both field hockey players, and so I love to go watch field hockey. I don't know all the rules. I think the rules change all the time, but I understand the game and have really enjoyed watching the field hockey team make it to the state tournament this year, which was a real highlight of the fall season. And I try to make it to at least 1 or 2 games for each team. My administrative team will always be at events. And hey, we're bringing back in the winter sports. We're bringing back gymnastics. First time in about 5 years that we've had a gymnastics team. We had 10 girls try out last night, so we got a full slated team, which is incredible. So I'm excited to see them perform. We're getting ready to move into basketball season.
Right.
I used to coach girls basketball at the middle school level, so I really don't tell Coach Thomas this, but I really enjoy watching girls basketball. It's just a different level of competition, I think. Right. But so I'm excited to see Coach Cook in action. We got the championship team from Jolliffe that has come up now and is they're all 9th graders. So Coach Cook has some high expectations. I've already told her we're gonna be looking at a state run, if not this year, in the next couple of years. So, but yeah, we want to be at it. I want to be at as many things as I can. And support our students and our coaches and staff.
Yeah. So here with the middle of November, end of the first 9 weeks, Veterans Day. I saw a couple teachers reference that there was assembly, and I know that one day last week, and I know that my dad, who's retired military, he came up to the high school when there was a career fair, represented his branch, and the military brought us to this community. So, here when the calendar turns to November, you got fall sports, ending their regular season, going into the playoffs, and then you have winter sports here, getting ready for their tryouts and their practice and the second 9 weeks starting.
Yeah, we're excited about that. Let me just say, don't sleep on our ROTC program. Yeah. They are also competing at a couple of different events this fall. The Color Guard and the Honor Guard, excuse me, and they do a fantastic, phenomenal job. Colonel Spalla and Chief Smith, and really it speaks to the value we place on our military families at Western Branch. They're an integral part of our school community, and we can't enough show how valued they are to our school community. I have teachers that are here because their spouse was stationed here, and they just want to serve the community while they're here. They know they're probably going to get moved in a couple of years, and they're going to do their best to be involved in the school community while they're here. And so we get so many things, there's just so many ways they're involved in our school community. We appreciate and I don't know, there's not enough ways for me to show how valued they are for their service. But Veterans Day is one opportunity we get. We just had an assembly to let students hear from a veteran, and that's always a good experience for students. But we're excited about the winter. Get track and field is going to kick off. Indoor track. We're going to see basketball. We're going to have wrestling. Coach Hardy's got a strong team this year. I'm expecting big things out of our wrestling team. And again, we'll bring back gymnastics. We'll see our winter cheer on the sidelines at basketball. I don't think I'm forgetting anybody.
Right. And I think
Scholastic Bowl. We also have a Scholastic Bowl team.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good. And
they're pretty good, by the way.
Right. Yeah. And I think Coach Hardy is a Bruin alum.
Yes. Well. I don't think Coach Hardy was on the Scholastic Bowl team, though.
No, but wrestling, and I think his dad was a state champion there for Western Branch Wrestling.
And that speaks a lot about this community. We had at one time we had about 45 staff members that graduated from Western Branch. So it just speaks volumes about when people want to come back and live and work in the community in which they graduated. I think that speaks volumes about the quality of life in our borough in Western Branch. So.
Yeah, kind of. I guess I'm showing my age, but when my sister and I were going through Western Branch Junior High, there was no Jolliffe Middle, but we had shirts that said can't just hide that Bruin pride.
That's right. That's right.
But, all right, Mr. Close, thanks again for your time, and any final nickels here before we wrap up.
Well, I appreciate you, Mark. I think you represent the best of the fan base here and the alumni here in Western Branch, and I appreciate that you give me an opportunity just to introduce myself a little bit to the community, and I want to say thank you to all the people of Western Branch for supporting us, for sending your kids to our school, sending us your very best. We're going to do our very best to help them to reach their greatest potential. So let's show up at some of these sporting events, some of these activities, see our students in action, highlight the best of what we do, and if nothing else, I'll see you at graduation.
All right, and look forward to seeing you there Friday night. And go Bruins! And thanks again for your time.
All right, take care, Rex.
All right, bye-bye.